ensure education quality and accountability? Or is it too demanding and restrictive with all the testing? And are school children being tested too much? Charles?
I've never been a fan of Common Core from the top down. You need some level of curriculum or guidelines. I've always been a big advocate that that should be in your local community. Sadly, we're not there, and with our money pretty much controlled at the state level, we're not going to be there anytime soon. It's maddening to me that we continue across this country, not just here, see a decline in education, but yet from the top we still get these Common Core, we're going to do this and it's going to make it better on education. How do you break that cycle? That's a question better served, I think, right now for our state senator, House reps up in Tallahassee. Now, again, we can talk and get in their ear about that, but we have to start the discussion there and do something about that and get it back to the community level and let our teachers be professionals, not somebody each turning the same nut on the same screw. I was in an educational environment where I had a wide diversity of teachers, and they taught on all different methods, and I think that made me a more well-rounded person. Why do we think every student needs to be taught the same way, the same thing? I am not running for any office in Tallahassee, but that's my question for the people in Tallahassee.
Dave?
Thank you. I disagree with Mr. Conway. I think that's kind of shoving aside responsibility, with respect to curriculum education, to say, well, it's just leave it up to the senators and representatives. I have, and I'm the only one here, who has drafted legislation to help improve our testing in the state. The Truth in Testing Parents' Right to Know Act. I'm the only one here who's testified before the Senate Education Committee. The only one here, who went to Washington, to petition getting away with getting rid of, the Common Core. These are things that can be done to change the environment of testing. I think the Common Core is more about earnings, for testing company than learning, of our children. I think that we would be better without that, and I say that with respect to, high stakes testing. We can have accountability without that. I think that, just complaining about things doesn't get it done. And just listening about things doesn't get it done. You have to take action. As chair of the Central Florida Public School Boards Coalition that represents over 1 million, the families of over 1 million students, we've taken resolutions at the request of senators. I've helped draft reform legislation. Action is being taken, and this school district can take pride in the fact that it has been a leader, and through me, to bring together over 13 school districts in Florida to help move the needle against having these high stakes testing. These are things that can be done on the local level. I am proud to have been an advocate for a long time in various positions, even before being on the school board. As a director of the Florida Coalition for Assessments Reform, I testified and went around to lobbyists, not to lobbyists, but to representatives and senators, making the pitch. We need to change. We need to put the money into education as opposed to testing. That's action. It's not just complaining.
Missy?
Okay, one of my favorite subjects and part of my platform. So Common Core is not working as it is currently structured, and in Florida we call it the Florida State Assessment or Florida Standard Assessment. So we just named it differently. We still have it being implemented at the state level. Look, we need high standards, no doubt about it. We can't reduce our standards, but what we have to do is bring the control, more control back to the local school district. So instead of the state of Florida not only telling us what the standards are and how to teach them in the classroom, but how to react to every single scenario that would happen, all of those decisions locally need to be discussed with our teachers, our principals, and our parents. That's what's missing. Now, as a planner, I have relationships with legislative leaders at the state level. I have relationships at the regional and the local level. I will be using those relationships to have open conversations with people that are representing the state of Florida, especially those on the education committee. I've already told them, expect my call. We'll be talking monthly. We need to change those things. On a personal level, I have advocated for my own child on standardized testing. You know, I had a special needs child, and my husband and I were advocates throughout her K through 12 education. She was not a good test taker. She performed in the classroom, but she couldn't perform on those tests. It's not a really good representative of what our kids are learning in the classroom. It's one picture on one day, one time. It is a very terrible representation. We need to work hard at our local district to have our legislators change and tweak our Common Core and give the local districts more control over interpreting it. Thank you.